Hey, before we get started on who needs to keep their pecker in their pants, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, OutKick, so you don't miss any of the action from Charlie and Hot Mike and Ricky and Clay, myself. That's right. It's the greatest YouTube channel out there, unless, of course, you like woke sports. Then you probably wouldn't like it. All in the news. Steve Smith Jr., man. He big, strong guy. He beats the hell out of everybody. But, boy, did he become a little bitch. That's right. I said it, a little bitch, when confronted by the husband of an asshole woman that he is stuffing it to, sticking it to, whatever it to. Think about that. You know, you're this big, tough guy. You portrayed yourself. You're walking all over Radio Row, and you're about that tall, that wide. You've whooped ass on camera, so everyone's scared of you. Then all of a sudden, guy calls you and says, hey, man, you're sticking my wife. What are you doing? And you don't have anything to say. Because deep down, guys are pussies. I've always said it. You know those mob guys that are so hard and they'll chop up somebody? Boy, as soon as they got to go to jail, they sang, well, former All-Pro's been accused of having an affair in a since deleted post on X, many posts on X, belonging to a man named Tony Martinez, claiming Smith has been having sex with Martinez's wife, who is a member of the Marching Ravens. You know, that one time at band camp? Yeah, that's right. The Baltimore Ravens marching band posted a video of the man allegedly confronting Smith about the allegations. Now, I'm sure Smith will come out with some bullshit and every guy on TV will defend him because he's their brother. But let's hear this whiny-ass little bitch when confronted acting like a whiny-ass little bitch. Steve Smith.
Hey, yo, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you been f***ing my wife, bro. What you gotta say for yourself?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? You knew she was married. You're not an idiot, man. You're Steve Smith Sr. What kind of dumb shit was that? Why are you quiet, man? Be a man.
Just a little bitch. Honest to God. That's what, I mean, I have no respect for guys that do that. I mean, none. Zero, zip. I mean, if you're going to be the tough guy that snakes around, sends text messages to a woman and does all this stuff, walk like a man. I'm telling you, man, dudes, and dudes, all these guys you see, man, when they get confronted, they will. Woman reveals alleged cheating details. You see, I've been cheating on my husband. I've been doing it. So with the very famous Steve Smith Sr., I had him hidden under 3, but that's been fixed. My husband bought me a house. He stood by my side after I was arrested twice for domestic violence. This is how I repay him and our son. There's plenty of messages, Steve. Crazy the kind of revealing message a celebrity will send. I am also a member of your team band. I believe I violated some fertilizational rules by hooking up with Steve at the training facility. What? This is weird. I don't know. Come on. Is this true? Is this idiot doing that? I guess she is. Here's some leaked screen grabs of Smith. Smith got it done. Like, look at Smith. Look at him. Oh, you're teasing me. You look stunning. About to go work. All right. I don't know. We're missing the good stuff. The good stuff is how she got graphic about what old boy did, huh? Man, oh man, look how happy he is. He can't wait to show his dumb ass. He can't wait to show his big smiling face. See, this shit pisses me off. It just, on 2 levels. One, you know, honest to God, you're a mother, you got a kid, what are you doing? Steve Smith, of course, had posted video or pictures of his wife on his birthday and her birthday, Valentine's Day. What are you doing? And then the second part, it really pisses me off, is all these guys are so slick, right? Oh, man, I'm slick. Oh, man, right? I mean, at least Tiger Woods, when he got caught stooping everything, including Perkins waitresses, looked us dead in the eye and talked about going back to his Buddhist faith. And the media believed it. Kobe Bryant, after being a rapist or alleged rapist, or at least paying off a civil suit in a rape trial, guess what? He became a hero. He did. He became a hero. It's amazing the world we live in, right? Kobe Bryant, girl dad, really? What about the girl, or what about the dad of the girl in Colorado? I don't know, man. I would be a little bit pissed watching all this with Kobe Bryant, but Steve Smith, it happens all the time. These big-ass tough guys, they act so bad, so tough. You know, Steve Smith's on TV acting like a badass. Jerry Jeudy comes up to him. He's going to fight. But he's such inside, such a little biatch, that when he gets caught red-handed stooping another dude's wife, in fact, I would argue you're a little biatch for stooping another dude's wife. That's what I would argue. But at least if you get caught, walk like a man. Sorry. Really, Steve? You're sorry? You're not sorry. You're sorry you got caught. No, you aren't. You're sorry you got caught. And it's fascinating to me. How often does this happen? I go back to the mafia. All these tough guys, Sammy the Bull Gravano, who killed so many people. Sammy the Bull, you want somebody whacked? You go get Sammy the Bull, John Gotti. You go get him, man. As soon as he got in prison, he got a little offended because John Gotti, well, he was going to rat him out. These tough guys. What did he do? Ratted like a bunch of freaking little biatches. Yeah, it just pisses me off. No, it does. It does. What are you going to do? God bless you, Steve Smith. You do you, baby. Asia Wilson, here's the problem. Oh, man. See, Major League Baseball is no longer with ESPN after this year. So you know what's going to happen? We're going to have to listen to WNBA people, the women, the coaches, and they're such morons. Now, you're saying, hey, Dakich, what is going on with this show? Indiana beat Purdue. We should be happy. I don't care enough. I mean, they're like 7-9. They got an easy schedule left. Good for them. It's a nice game. But honest to God, we're the only station. This is why you should always like, subscribe, and listen to our shows, because we're the only station that'll call this stupidity out. So Asia Wilson, who famously said, Caitlin Clark is only marketable because she's white. Okay. She tells Time Magazine in a recent interview that she is grateful for Caitlin Clark's comments about white privilege. We see where people stand up and speak for us. All right. Good for you. It's powerful to me. Really? Now, I said this and I stand by this. Asia Wilson is the least mature superstar we've ever seen. That's true. How is Asia Wilson the woman of the year? I mean, Caitlin Clark, this woman, Asia Wilson, is a terrific women's basketball player. Not a terrific basketball player, a terrific women's basketball player. Didn't do anything for the league in her time. So I ask you, how is Caitlin Clark not the woman of the year? We know why. You can't have the little white girl because all the African Americans will get mad. But see, I look at things colorless. I do, always have, always will. The woman of the year, if you're going to use a sports person, is easy. It's Caitlin Clark. I mean, truthfully, let's think about it. I don't know the world of business. I don't know which woman, although I would think Riley Gaines, because she championed change and legislator that saved women. But Time Magazine doesn't care about that, obviously. But we're going to put Asia Clark. It's powerful to me because as a black woman in the WNBA, we have our struggles in showcasing who we really are. Why does anybody care who you really are? With all due respect, I don't care who Caitlin Clark really is. I don't care who Asia Wilson really is. I don't care who Shaq really is. I don't. When you get done and you start stripping other people, fine. Then I want to know, but I don't care who. You're a basketball player. You put a ball in a hoop. Why would I care who you really are? Seriously, I don't see any of these women asking who I really am. I don't see any of these women asking anybody who they really are. I just see these women bitching, whining, and moaning. But why are we supposed to care who these women of the WNBA really are? A lot of agendas get pushed on a lot of different platforms that may shadow us. Everyone. I mean, honest to God. I had my guy Doyle write me a long religious thing this weekend, basically apologizing for being a schmuck. What are you going to do? You work so hard. We all work hard, honey. We all work hard. You play a game. We all work hard. Every one of us works hard. I mean, try doing a 9 to 5 with your little immaturity. It'll last 10 minutes. You know what I mean? But you still have to work 10 times harder just to be seen. Why? You're on national TV. You think you have to work 10 times harder just to be seen? More so than who? The fireman? The policeman? Who? The person selling? Who? Who do you have to work 10 times harder than? But the world believes this bullshit. The world believes this. You're on national TV. You're on podcasts all the time. What are you talking about? Like, as a black woman, as a white woman, it don't matter. You're seen. The problem you had was for 27 years, none of you, white or black, including legends like Diana Taurasi, half black, half white women and others, were interesting enough, Rebecca Lobo, were interesting enough to make the league viable. Now one has. It's a white girl. That bothers you. We know. Now you're a victim. Great. But you're on TV every freaking time I turn around. You're on the cover of magazines. What did you do to work so hard? Are you digging ditches? What are you doing? Are you working a 9 to 5? Are you teaching school every day? Are you an EMT on call, a fireman like my friend Andy Deck? What are you doing that you're going so damn hard? Oh, my God. You talk about entitlement and stupid. So when we have our counterparts speak up, see, that's your problem. You think that's a counterpart. It speaks volumes. What does that mean? It speaks volumes to me. What does that mean? I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't use white privilege for jack shit. I used hard work. And so did Caitlin Clark. But y'all bullied her, y'all pressured her, and next thing you know, boom, it speaks volume. What volumes? What is it? I mean, people say that. On so many levels, people say, what does that mean? Speaks volumes. What does that mean? Something you read in a book. Because they're in spaces where my path is never supposed to go. It's crazy they're talking about that in 2025. It is. No, you're talking about it. You are talking about it. You want to be the victim. Hell, nobody else is. I mean, you guys, you all want to be a victim. The African-American lesbian women of the WNBA want to be, continue to be, and are victims. That's all they ever talk about. Is being victims. I've never heard one of these women ever talk about what great things Caitlin Clark has achieved for the league. Not one. All I ever hear about is you were left behind because your game is uninteresting. You play from the free throw line down like every freaking 8th grade boy can do. All of a sudden, here comes a woman in there that can dazzle, go and handles herself with class and dignity, and that drives you all nuts. And let's be honest, she's a heterosexual. That drives you nuts more. But that's the truth in all this bullshit. That is the truth. But it's real. We see those things as black women. We see where people stand up and speak for us. Okay. God bless you. But why does anybody have to speak for you? Why don't you just go colorless? Because I can't. I know there'll be something you read in a book. I get it. But the truth of the matter is, in this society, particularly in the WNBA, you had 27 years of it. Black, white, and it isn't about color. It's about somebody that captured the imagination. No different than Steph Curry did. None whatsoever. No different than P.K. Subban just did on TV because he spoke the truth. No different than Michael Jordan. No different than Magic Johnson. No different than Ken Griffey Jr. No different than any other black athletes. But you all didn't have anybody to do that. And now a white woman, heterosexual woman, that doesn't get involved in the typical drama and bullshit of Asia Wilson and Carringtons of the world and Angel Reese's, and it makes you nuts. It simply makes you nuts. That's the problem with ESPN not having baseball after this. You got to listen to more bullshit. This will still be going on in their minds for 20 years. Next white person comes up, or this Juja Watkins doesn't get the same look that Caitlin Clark gets, and see? It's all bullshit. Total bullshit. 27 years, the WNBA, white and black, had the opportunity to grow. It wasn't until a woman that had an interesting game. You think Angel Reese's game is interesting? You think this woman's game is interesting? She's a good woman's player. Every 9th grade boy in America does what she does, play from the free throw line down. Big deal. It's true. Clay Travis gave him $1 million. $1 million. Good high school team against the WNBA champ. I don't blame the WNBA for not taking it, and not from a standpoint of competitiveness. He asked me when we were at dinner the other day, what do you think? I go, you crazy. Just watch how people play around the rim. Just watch how high school boys play around the rim. They're at or above the rim. And look at Angel Reese. I mean, come on. Anyway, it's just, it really exhausts me. It does. The victimness. I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white privilege, there is privilege. As a white, not to me. Maybe to you. Maybe you did have privilege. I didn't. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. True. The league has been kind of built on them. True. And it was built on sand because the white players and the black players couldn't get anything done interesting. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think is very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Okay. How about elevate yourself by not being idiots? How about elevate yourself by having interesting game? And I'm not just talking about black women. I'm talking about the league because there is going to be a time. This league is either going to explode or it's going to go away. I think it's going to explode. I think they got the greatest gift with Major League Baseball out. But how about you start thinking in terms of us, not black versus white? How about you do that? Seriously, how about you do that? When you do that, your league will really take off. Until then, people will be like, God dang, can you just stop bitching and whining and moaning at each other? I mean, seriously. Can you just stop? I mean, for years and years and years, we've watched. We've wanted to like, and you saw it. When Caitlin Clark had success, the women of the WNBA, black and white, were impossible to like. They got exposed as racist, bigots. They got exposed as sexist. They did. What are you going to do? Speaking of bigots and racists, Bomani Jones is mad. He's got his little ego hurt. A lot of guys want everybody to stand together. Stand with Bomani. That's right. President Trump celebrating at Black History Month with Tiger Woods. Oh, my God. Adding, I'm not sure how much he likes black people. Well, of course. I mean, it's the old thing from the racists. You're not black enough. Right. All right. But he does like the idea of thought that black people like him. Find any white guy. Watch any white guy. Listen to the afternoon show on my old station. Man, when an African-American dude calls in, that dude talks different. I used to tell people, why y'all talk different when a black guy calls in? You try to get hip or happier. Every dorky-ass white dude, everyone wants black people to like him. Every hilljack from wherever wants black people to like him. It's like a big deal. I'm so thankful as I've gotten older. I grew up where I did it. Black guy likes you, great. White guy likes you, great. Black guy didn't like you, great. Didn't like you, great. Whatever, who cares? But that's not the way, and I'm considered racist or someist because that's the way I look at the world. I don't give a damn if a white guy or black guy calls me. Let's have a chat. But it's amazing. I think Trump became interesting because he reminds me of a lot of people that I've met at various points where I'm not sure how much he likes black people. See, why now is it always a test? I'm not sure how much Donald Trump likes black people. I know Bomani Jones don't like white people except the one signing his checks. I mean, I'm not proving jack shit about whether I like, dislike, black, white, green, or purple to some frickin' clown in the media. And neither should Trump. I'm not sure. Okay. But he does like the idea of thought that black people like him. He really gets off on that notion and that idea. How does this guy know? I mean, it's Black History Month. Let's do this. Great, let's do it. How does this guy know? He doesn't. He doesn't know jack shit about any of this. He should have just stopped. He should have just stopped. I'm not sure. That's it. He doesn't know any of this. But, hey, man, we need a black guy to come on our show and talk about Trump. Bomani, oh, yeah. When he had to do his own show and had to be interesting about sports and actual on the field. He and Pablo Torre couldn't handle it. Now it's amazing. So he could get Tiger Woods and Kodak Black in the same room to tell him how dope he is. Yeah, that's what he did. Hey, I'm dope, yo. He loves that. His ego absolutely loves that. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. I think I see what's going on. Also, his belief that blacks get more of our votes in all these things. So it's not something that's wise for him to turn off his Black History Month thing. It makes all the sense in the world to him to do it as he does. Let me ask you, you bitch when you don't do enough and you bitch when you do too much. Now, that's not just Black History Month. That's the world we live in. You bitch about everything. I mean, no good deed goes unpunished. That is one of my life's mottos. Be careful what you wish for, and no good deed goes unpunished. So here Trump has his deal, has a really nice deal. Everybody that went, everybody's excited. Everybody thinks it's great. Everybody's rocking and rolling, but no good deed goes unpunished. I don't think that he really likes us. He thinks it's great to get Kodak Black and Tiger Woods in a room. And no good deed goes on. The dude could literally cure cancer of every African-American person, laying his hands on them, Jesus Christ-like, and these clowns, Bomani Jones, Jamal Hill, and the others, Pablo Torre, Dan Le Batard, that are get paid to do one thing, and that's talk race, they would bitch, whine, and moan about it. Seriously. Cured. Asia Wilson would bitch about it. Whoever she is. Like everybody, there's never enough that Trump does, and we know this. Look, this isn't just every single thinking human being that has watched Trump's first month in presidency has got to go, you know what, it's pretty good. But it ain't enough. It ain't just black. It isn't just Bomani. It's white people. It's Democrats. It's liberals. It's African Americans. It's Serbia. If you are a liberal, it ain't enough. It's never enough. I lay my hands on every person that has cancer and they are cured. If Donald Trump did that, there'd still be Hillary Clintons of the world, Bomani Joneses of the world, bitching, whining, and moaning. Wow, he just did that to what? Oh, hoochie capesta, my eyes are burning. All right, remember this guy, Devondre Campbell, the 49ers linebacker who quit in the middle of a game? He quit on his own team in the middle of a game against the Rams, refused to go in when called upon. He's issued a response to his critics. Now, this ought to be good. This ought to be really brilliant. This ought to be something that we put in the Smithsonian. Now, look, I'm going to quit on my team, but it's your fault. Okay. All right. It's been 2 months, and I've yet to address the situation because I know the truth, and I don't care to clear anything up. Okay. There you go. You're done. And I know the truth and don't care to clear anything up. Then don't. Right? No? Okay, baby. All right, baby. I, by myself all the time. All right, let's hear this again. I'm by myself all the time. I'm going to read. I'm going to put on my glasses. Let me put on my glasses here because this should be good. I'm by myself all the time. If you or any of them from the 49ers feel some type of way, go with your move. When you see, cause all them that have so much to say about me, gonna have to stand on them words next time I see them. I been standing on business my whole life, and it's gonna be like that until the day I'm 6 feet under. Don't know me. I ain't addressing I'm rich and never have to work another day of my life. I told Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch when they FaceTimed me and begged me to come out there for an hour after Green Bay cut me. I play because I want to. All right, man. I look like Chuck Schumer right there with no hair. I don't like that. Anyway, good. That's enough on him. This is interesting. I'm putting these back on. This, I told you. There's two things I told you about. One, I told you that as bad as Lori Lightfoot was for Chicago, this guy was going to be worse. Why did I tell you that? Do you remember? I told you I got people in government in Chicago, and they all told me the same thing. This guy, Brandon Johnson, is worse than Lori Lightfoot. The exact quote, if you think Lori Lightfoot was bad, Brandon Johnson's worse. And the second thing I told you, and shout out Shout out University of Tampa lacrosse team, national champs. They watch every day, and I'm going to get back to you. I want to speak to your team and thank you. But anyway, don't let this happen, University of Tampa men's lacrosse team. Federal government investigating potential gambling. Remember, I told you this. I said this tip of the iceberg, man. We got Fresno State now. Hang on, caller. Hang on. When the federal government investigates potential gambling activity connected to an NBA case that started with Raptors player Jonte Porter, there are concerns in a number of college basketball programs. I told you. May have been tied up in a potential ring as well. And this weekend, it was reported Fresno State is investigating potentially gambling activities that involve a few Bulldog players. Really? Really? I'm stunned by this. I am absolutely stunned by this. You know, I'm looking this up just to be sure. Just to be sure. Yep, that's what I thought. There's a guy named Vince Wahlberg is the head coach. Now, a few years ago, Vince Wahlberg had the dribble drive offense. And we were all supposed to jump up and down, stand on our head, and crap snowballs. And I remember listening to him speak one time. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. All these old white cats in basketball are always scam artists. Like, I worked with Tate Slock, and I worked with Norm Ellenberger, and I've been around all these guys, and they're all little scam guys. They're all little, hey, they invented basketball. I forget the guy's name that worked at UNLV. Tim Gergeritz. All these dudes were little scam guys. I remember I got called on the phone by a guy at Maine Central Institute. I'm going to sue you. Sue me. I don't give a shit. They're all littles. If you see an old white guy in college basketball that all the Caliparis and all those guys in the world love, you can bet your ass. So this guy Wahlberg is the coach at Fresno State. That's where I'm going here. So apparently we've got betting activities at Fresno State. ABC 30 has learned 2 of the 3 Fresno State men's basketball student athletes accused of sports gambling allegedly placed bets on games they actively played in. Unders on rebounds, unders on point totals. This has been going on a long time. I told you about Toledo. Sammy Vajegas, Toledo basketball. We're playing them in like 06, 07. We were going to be pretty good. Anyway, long story short, before the game, one of my assistants, the great Artie Papella, said, I can't figure Toledo out, man. This Vajegas, he was really good. Should have been in the NBA, in my opinion. Played really well in the first half. Plays like crap in the second half. We get down 17 at half. I mean, they are kicking our ass. We come back and win. Vajegas goes over. Fast forward long, a couple, 4 or 5 years later, find out point shaving. That's in like telling you, amid the gambling investigations, Fresno State basketball, with more historical lows after another overtime loss, 5-23, most losses ever. Remember, Vince Wahlberg was the man. I mean, people were running around to hire Vincey Wahlberg. 1-16, the Mountain West, most conference loss, 10 straight loss. Guess what? Air Force, 0-15 in conference heading into that game. See, when the one thing that I love about being an ex-coach is people telling me I was too hard on players, because you ain't going to see that shit. What you're going to see is guys graduating. What you're going to see is guys appreciating. Some guys still hate me. That's cool. But what are you going to do? They'll grow out of it. They'll be great fathers. See, you can never be too tough. People say, Bob Knight was too tough. Yeah, Bob Knight was an idiot half the time, but most of us ended up pretty good. Some of us ended up entitled as hell. But I'm telling you, these guys that know more than look at the history. I go back to Tate Slock, Norm Ellenberger, this guy, all these guys that are gurus, they're all full of shit. And they all got no discipline because they could run the dribble drive offense and Cal put it in. Sorry about that, but this is a weird show. I usually don't celebrate people losing their job, but I got to tell you, this firing is well-deserved. MSNBC canceling Joy Reid's program, The Reid Out, as part of the new network shakeup. She will host her final episode later this week. They had a headline. Hey, can you guys find this headline? It was a Washington Post. MSNBC, Man, she's awful. She's a racist pig. Here's a list of some of the most hateful and diverse things she said on her TV program. This is only a drop in the bucket, though. Here she goes. She once told viewers that red states only keep black people alive so they can make white people steaks and fill their factories while they mumble the N-word. I just want you to think about that for a second. Okay, on to the next. She called Missouri a slave state in which pregnant women are the property of their husbands. Okay. After the first attempted assassination on Donald Trump's life, Reid cited debunked online rumors to push the theory that Trump staged the shooting. Who wouldn't want to stage a shooting? Hey, you know what? I can't beat a senile vegetable. Let's stage a shooting, but clip me in the ear, will you? I don't know about you, but I don't want to be clipped in the ear. I don't want to be clipped in the ass. I don't want to be clipped anywhere by a bullet, and I sure don't want some crazy-ass dude on a roof doing the shooting. I do look like Schumer. Aaron, Gary, I'm not happy about this. I looked at myself and said, Schumer. Anyway, she admitted she was fine with Kamala Harris selecting Tim Walz as a running mate because while he is white, he's not mayonnaise sandwich on Wonder Bread white, like other potential white candidates. Mayonnaise sandwich on Wonder Bread. Only the bottom part of my legs is whiter. I'm very ashy. So I put lotion on them. It worked. But I was thinking, what's whiter than a mayonnaise sandwich on white Wonder Bread? I don't know if I got an answer to that. I got to go to the chin. No, I don't think there is. All right, let's go. Per Reid, voters had a moral obligation to keep Hitler out of the White House. I would agree with that. I mean, if Adolf Hitler came back, I would think we have a moral obligation to keep Adolf Hitler out of the White House. I don't think anybody would disagree. I'm looking Dylan and Nick and Gary and Aaron. I think that's probably accurate. Of course, she was referring to Donald Trump as Hitler. That's all I hear. Hitler, fascist. Okay. All right. By the way, she doesn't look any better with hair. On election night, Reid labeled, this is part 2 of the hate. Reid labeled the presidential race fascism versus freedom and warned that electing Trump would result in U.S. looking like Nazi Germany or worse. Here's the thing. It's like the Bomani Jones racism stuff. You can throw it out there. I mean, you throw it out there enough, people go, seriously. I mean, fascist, racist, garbage. Okay. All right. Without any evidence, Reid suggested that Governor Ron DeSantis would soon be implicated in a sex trafficking ring. The question, though, is why'd she keep her job this long? Like, why'd she keep her job? I mean, we know the answer, but isn't that a question when you read all this stuff back to back to back? Has DeSantis been implicated in a sex trafficking ring? No. Could he be? Anybody can be implicated in anything. That's what I learned. Holy hell. Last year, Reid knocked Major League Baseball for its lack of diversity because only 6% of its players are black. Hey, look, you're not going to be able to hit 100, but you're black. Let's get up here. So Joy Reid won't get mad at us. Baseball's a tough sport, man. Now, basketball, you can bring people up based on potential, but baseball, you got to be able to hit, field, run, throw. And I don't think any of them baseball people have any problem with diversity. I mean, damn. How many kids have come up through South America, Central America? How many? A bunch. I don't think they really care in baseball, nor should they. I don't think they give a rat's ass. I think what baseball does is figure out we're a world sport, or at least this side of the world sport. Let's develop programs down in the Dominican, down in Mexico, down in every country in South America, and let's see if we can get some baseball players up here. That's what I see. Maybe that's not good enough. I don't know. But it ain't bad. According to Reid, the billionaire Reid is working behind the scenes to bring apartheid to California like Texas. I know a lot of people that work in Texas. They don't even know what apartheid means. The free state of Texas, where you don't even have to have a freaking license, at least according to Billy Bob Thornton in Landman, to carry a loaded gun. What are you going to do? She also said Trump makes women feel like he wants to force them to have children by sexual assault. I don't know what to say about that. I don't. Man, does that mean he's so good looking? I don't know what that means. I'm not smart enough. Let me read that again. She said Trump make women feel like he wants to force them to have children by sexual assault. I'll let that go because I don't get it. This is Matt Walsh, deeply saddened by the passing of Joy Reid's MSNBC show. It was a great resource for right-wing podcasters looking for a clip to play and make fun of. I can't tell you how many slow news days Joy helped me through. I hope she finds somewhere else to spout her inane bullshit. It's a perfect way to put it. All right, college hoops. Purdue, down goes Purdue. I've never seen this. 28-3, 35-10. That's what Indiana was outscoring Purdue in the second half. They were down 12, the Hoosiers were. Next thing you know, Purdue decided not to play, and Indiana decided to really play. Man, I don't know if you saw this, but there's a guy named Tony Padilla. I'm going to give you an actual conversation between me and the late John Adams, head of officiating for the NCAA. Hey, Dan, I walk into Cafe Patachu. He's sitting there. I've known John. Hey, Dan, sit down. I was working at ESPN. Hey, Dan, you know any minorities out west that can officiate? Because I got to do this DEI thing for the NCAA tournament. Oh, man, minorities from the West. Well, Tony Padilla is a minority from the West who's done a bunch of big games. And he is a god-awful official. And all you got to do is watch this guy takes a shot. The defender's way over here at BYU, 25,000 crazy Mormons. He misses the shot. Arizona's going to win. Out of nowhere, here comes Tony Padilla with a foul. Hey, Dan, you know any officials? Oh, man, we had Brad Underwood on our show. They got their ass kicked. Duke is good. Duke is my favorite. You're going to ask me, would you take the SEC or the field? Give me the field. After watching what Duke did to Illinois. Wow. Told you before, I'll tell you again. Cooper Flagg's best basketball player I've seen as a freshman in my lifetime. I've not seen one better. Alabama beat Kentucky. That's to be expected. Woo, Arkansas. Remember last week we had pissed off, and I mean pissed off, the good folks at Missouri. They got a win, so they were mouthy. They got a loss. I haven't heard anything from them. Tamar Bates, you rock. St. John's, man. Ooh, I'd take St. John's and make the Final Four, too. If you make the Final Four, you win the NCAA tournament. They whooped up and swept UConn. I don't know.